All right, all right, all right. Oh my gosh, that was totally Matthew McConaughey there. That's crazy. Okay, so first off, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jenny Bushman. I am a triple certified lean coach. And if you don't know what that is, you're about to know in a couple minutes here. And I'm also, it's not on here, which I need to add it. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, which has been really, really awesome. And so, first off, I just want to thank you all for taking some time out of your night tonight to join me and to join everyone else here. And this is really going to be super simple and basic and to the point. And so this talk, I usually do this talk. I've done this talk in various Orange Theory fitness studios. If you don't know what that is, it's a gym setup, but it's very interactive. And I do have you all muted, and I can't see you all, but you can all actually see. Let me get comfortable here. You guys can actually see each other. And so when I do the talk, I have people like shout out answers. And I was actually going to take that out of the call, but I decided to keep it in because I really want you guys to participate. You can shout it out. Other people can see you. There's this amazing little chat thing on your computer and on your phone where you can actually chat to everybody. And so you can answer in there. You can answer just in your brain, but really think about it. And it's better for you too, because you're learning something. And so, I'm going to start off really just by sharing a little bit about where I came from and how I got to where I am now. And so I grew up playing soccer year round, winter, spring, summer, fall, from the age of 4 to 21. And I actually had the opportunity to play college soccer, Division I, for 1 year. I've always been physically fit and somewhat into nutrition. It wasn't until about 3 years ago that my best friend, who's a registered dietitian, asked me to partake on this adventure of inspiring healthy living. I always felt that I was pretty healthy, and I thought that I was in my best shape ever in my 20s, right, until that moment. Since then, I've actually learned that I wasn't. I've learned that I could actually be healthier, feel better, but this is what really does it for me. I realize that I can help others too. Me, little Jenny, can actually inspire other people to feel better, to look better, and to be healthier. And so that for me is freaking fantastic. Along this journey, I discovered the Dr. Sears Wellness Institution, where I became a triple certified lean coach. I honestly did this more for myself. I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to be more educated for myself and for my family. And since then, 3 years of this, of just learning so much then and continuing to learn every day, it started off as me. Like, it was really all about me, but now it is growing into something so much freaking bigger than myself. And I actually have a fire lit inside of me again and a passion for something again. I went through playing soccer. It was my life. Like, I just loved it so much. It was my outlet. It was what kept me active and fit. And then I had some physical limitations. And once I couldn't play soccer anymore, depression set in. I had severe depression. And then I decided I wanted to work with animals and I wanted to be a zookeeper. And so I was able to do that for a couple years until those same limitations that held me back from soccer started to hold me back from zookeeping. And then I hit depression again and had some crazy in and out jobs, here and there just to pay the bills. And then now I'm where I'm at now. And I have a freaking passion for life again. I have a passion for helping people again. And it doesn't have to be something overwhelming. It doesn't have to be you changing everything about your lifestyle. You can pick one thing. Like, our concept and what we endorse is one simple change. It could be adding more greens to your plates every day, your plate every day. It could be drinking more water every day or every week. It doesn't have to be something crazy, overwhelming, and extreme, and and I'm here just to tell you a little bit more about that, because I really feel that everything that we experience in our lives, like I just shared with you, just a brief description of it, soccer, depression, zookeeping, there's so much more than that. But I believe that everything we all experience along our journeys, we should definitely share with people, because you just never know who needs to hear it, quite honestly. All right, let's go down here. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you what LEAN stands for. The L is for lifestyle. It's how we live. The E is for exercise. It's how we move. A is attitude, how we think. And the N is nutrition. And that's actually what we're going to focus on today, is nutrition and how we eat. But I feel like a lot of us out there really focus, we want to have a healthy foundation, or we want to change things around in our life. I feel that we all, let me go back. I feel that we all just really focus on exercise, or we really focus on nutrition. We don't really think about lifestyle, and we don't really think about our attitude, like self-care. I have embraced self-care the last 2 years of my life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why is this not talked about more? Why aren't we teaching this more? It's so super important, y'all. So that's the four pillars of health. And then we're going to go into the science of it. So Dr. Sears is the #1 pediatrician in the country. He has written over 45 books. He's an amazing person, but what I really love about him, and what I try to teach people, is to keep things super simple. And we're going to do that right here. So this little diagram here shows what junk food does to our bodies. It can cause neurotransmitters to function improperly. And what that means is, up here you're going to see all these little jagged little passageways here. And what that is we're feeding our body junk food. So imagine the inside of your arm with all these little medicine bottles inside, right? And what he teaches is our bodies are actually our own pharmacy. We can actually heal ourselves by what we feed ourselves. And it sounds so crazy and so simple, but it's so true. It's so incredibly true. So when we feed it junk food, all those little medicine bottles stay closed, and it creates sticky stuff or toxins on top of it. And things happen. Our body gets sick. We have gut issues. We have IBS. We get celiac. We have cancer. Things like that happen. But when where's my little arrow? Okay. When we feed it smart food, right, it allows information to process correctly. See how smooth it is down there at the bottom? So when you feed your body all this smart, awesome food that it craves every single day, and the nutrients that it craves every day, those little medicine bottles can pop open, and they can release all of this awesome stuff that helps keep your arteries clear, keep your blood clear, and we flush it out. And ta-da! It really is, y'all. It really is that simple. And so this is actually one of my favorite things to talk about. And this is all around diet. So it's really impossible to read that handwriting, right? A 6-year-old child's handwriting before a change in diet. And this information actually came from one of Dr. Sears's books. It's called the omega-3 effect. And he does this placebo and this study about omega-3s and how our brains and our bodies really need this stuff. And we don't actually get it enough every day or every week. So this is the handwriting. Are you ready to see the next one? It's crazy awesome. Look at that. This is a 6-year-old after 1 month of a change in diet. And in the small print at the bottom, the change in diet was omega-3s were added. It's crazy, but I mean, it just shows right there, once we feed our body the proper nutrients, what we can do and how it can perform and how we can focus. Okay. So we all know this picture, right? We all fill our car up every day with gas, or every week, depends on the car. But basically when you fill your car up at the gas station, you wouldn't think to put water in it, or window cleaner, or soda, or diet soda, or pop, or whatever you say, right? You don't actually have to be a mechanic to know how your car is going to run best, right? It's going to run the best that it can perform with fuel, right? And so just like a car, our bodies actually need special fuel to run its best. We need proteins, we need carbohydrates, we need fats, vitamins, and minerals. And all of that together is the main fuel for our body, and it helps us to think, play, and live. And so, most of us hear about nutrition in the news, or we hear about it in advertisements, we hear about it in doctor's offices or from friends and family. And something you heard last year is totally different than what you hear today. And the same with what you heard yesterday or last week is totally different tomorrow. And so it's really, really hard to understand what's true, right? And so I'm just going to give you some simple ways to really, really concentrate on eating healthier. And, that's something that I endorse, and the people that I do this with endorse. We really, really focus on whole food nutrition, not so much about calories and not so much about the fad diets that are coming and going, because those fad diets can actually hurt your body over time. And there's research behind it. And some of the fad diets that are out there right now that I'm not going to name, there is no research for long-term on them, and that's freaking scary to me. So, you know, we teach whole food nutrition. So this is a super easy way to do it. It's called Traffic Light Eating. It's healthy eating made simple. And so here it is. It's your green light foods. Your green light foods are foods that are grown and not manufactured. They're naturally colorful. They usually can be eaten raw. They're low in calories, high in nutrients. It includes all your fruits and all your vegetables, and you can eat as much as you want. And every time I tell somebody that, they look at me and they're like, I can't eat fruit because it has sugar. And I go, oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And then I explain to them, you know, there's a difference, which we'll touch base a little later in the talk, is there's a difference with artificial sugar and sweeteners. And then there's a difference with whole food sugar. Your body, my body, everyone's body knows what to do with that stuff. Our body was designed to know what to do with a homegrown apple. You know, our body, well, we take it in, our body disperses those nutrients where it needs to go. And what's really fantastic is that the nutrients in an apple, which was like over 20,000 different vitamins and minerals in one apple. So all of those things work hand in hand together because that's how they were created. And our body knows what to do with that versus synthetic stuff out there. Our body has no idea what to do with that stuff. Like some multivitamins out there, it's like I have a blood clotting disorder and I had to take high doses of different B vitamins and my body wasn't actually absorbing it. And I came to find out that when you isolate vitamins like that, your body freaks out. It doesn't know what to do with it because vitamins work in pairs. And so if I was taking all this B6, but I wasn't taking its partner, its paired up partner, they couldn't work together and my body couldn't absorb it. So food. Our body knows what to do with food. Okay, and so yellow light foods are going to be your slow down foods. They are going to have a little more calories. They're going to have a little more sugar and more fat. They are a necessary part of the diet. These are foods that you can eat every single day in moderation because they are going to provide different vitamins and minerals and other nutrients than your green light foods. And then, you know, they're also this, I love it because it tells you what they are. So it's your pastas, your rice, your bread, your nuts, your yogurt, your low fat cheese and chicken. And preparation of the yellow light foods can actually cause them to become red light foods, which we're gonna test you on a little bit later. And like I said, it's moderations because too much of a good thing is still too much, right? And then you have your red light foods, your stop and think foods. You basically want to look at it and be like, oh, do I need this? Maybe I could eat that over there instead of that. So you want to make a different choice, right? You want to eat a smaller portion. They're lower in nutrients and higher in calories. These foods, oh man, they include hydrogenated oils, trans fats, artificial sweeteners. They're high in fat and or sugar. It's going to include your butter, your cookies, your donuts, your white bread, soda, ham, and other fatty meats. Like all the good stuff, right? Okay, so since I just taught you about traffic light eating, we're going to do a little test here. And it's going to go a little quick. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to think about it, or you can get that chat blowing up. It's really fun to kind of participate with each other and to test yourself. So I'm going to show you a food, and you're going to say what color it is, okay? Here we go. All right. What color is this piece of steak? It is loaded with saturated fat, and it's way larger than a single portion. All right. It's red. So if you guessed red, awesome. If not, that's okay. You just have a little bit to learn. This one, what color is it? Anybody? It's an egg. It's going to be a yellow light. So if you guessed that, awesome. So instead of frying it in butter, try using a little bit of water. And I said this in my talk earlier today, and I really, really love it. I heard a doctor speak a couple years ago, and it's always stood with me. You know, we hear about it goes back to what I said earlier. One day, olive oil is good for you, and then olive oil is not good for you. Then coconut oil is good for you, and now coconut oil is not good for you. And it's just crazy. But I use extra virgin olive oil, but I don't cook with it anymore with my foods. I actually put a small base of water in there because what happens when you cook with oils, any oils, coconut oil, extra virgin, any oils, when you cook with them, they get to such a high temperature that they can actually create toxins, sticky stuff in our body, and it can clog things up for us. So using the little base of water actually just prevents it from sticking. And then I do use extra virgin olive oil in homemade salad dressings. And then I do drizzle it on top of stuff when I bake it. but I try not to cook with it in a pan. So it is a yellow light food. Just so you know. And this one's kind of a trick question. Let's see. Anybody? It's a Caesar salad, if that helps. So this one's tricky. It can be a green light, or it could be a yellow light or red light, sorry. And it's because of that dressing. So this is a Caesar salad. It most likely contains some red light foods, which are going to be your artificial flavoring and coloring, or your saturated fats, all that kind of stuff. And then the croutons are also a red light food on there. And the salad would actually be much better if you add some veggies to it, and you can do like a different dressing. I really love the Annie's dressings because they don't have any of the high corn fructose syrup and any of that stuff in it. You can make your own. I do a simple extra virgin olive oil, fresh lemon, salt and pepper, boom, call it a day. Balsamic vinaigrette is really good. Yeah, so this could be tricky. I mean, you could be like going to a restaurant thinking, I want to eat healthy, and then you eat a Caesar salad, and it could actually be the worst thing for you than something else. So it's just a matter of knowing what's in your food and those ingredients. Bananas, this one's easy. This one's like totally easy. I'm just going to go real fast because you guys should be yelling it. Green lights. Remember, fruits and veggies all day long, all day long. Walnuts. What do you think about walnuts? Okay, so they're yellow light. You know, nuts are very, very good for you. All different types of nuts. Should have a little bit every day. Really high in omega-6s, and some have omega-3, like really, really good for us. And so the thing about them, though, the reason they're a yellow light food is because we can overconsume them. So you just want to make sure that you're doing it in moderation. And then this is rice. Bum, bum, bum. It's yellow light. So brown rice is a yellow light food. However, if you do white rice, it's a red light. Here's another easy one. I love seeing the little chat blow up. It just makes my heart happy. It's a green light. And this one, I will tell you, because I didn't say this earlier, that does have some butter on it, that toast does. All right. So bread, basically, the nutrients are stripped from the wheat. I don't know if you know that a lot, but a lot of the wheat nowadays is so genetically modified that a lot of the nutrients that our body actually needs, it's stripped from there, and it actually can cause some crazy stuff with our gut. But so margarine is on there, and that's a hydrogenated, that word gets me, hydrogenated oil, which can clog our arteries and can lead to heart attacks and things like that. Sticky stuff, see? Just keep it simple, sticky stuff. Oh, what about this? It's a burger. A juicy hamburger. It's a red light. So the juicy hamburger is on a white bun, and it's not the right portion size. I mean, it's like the size of my head. But there are some ways that you can make this hamburger a yellow light food, and that will be, so you could use a whole grain bun. And I love sharing this with people. Some people I talk to, you know, still eat bread. Some people have just like stayed away from it. And if you still eat bread, and I give my kids bread still, it's whole grain, which is crazy because I remember when I was like in, I think high school and college, like the thing was stay away from white rice and white pasta and white breads and get wheat pasta and wheat breads. And so 7 to 10 years ago when I stopped eating wheat and gluten, it was really a mind game for me. It was such an adjustment because I had been on this wheat thing. And now I'm like, nope, whole grain. So you want to find a whole grain bread, has tons of seeds around it. And one of my favorite brands is Dave's Killer Bread. That stuff is the bomb diggity. And then you want to, you know, you could maybe make the burger at home to make it healthier and not have fast food, smaller portions of the meat and more veggies. You could do a salmon burger, turkey burger, chicken burger. You know, when you're doing a burger, you just want to watch out for those extra ingredients because it can really throw it off. Okay, and this one's kind of tricky. Ice cream. I love ice cream. So ice cream's typically a red light food, but can you guys just comment in there some ways that it could be healthier? We could make it a yellow light food. Give you a couple of seconds. So you could make it homemade because then that way you're controlling the ingredients that are in it. You could try frozen yogurt, but be sure to read the ingredients because some of the frozen yogurts out there add sugar, right? There are different brands of ice cream that are better than others. Switch the portions, have more fresh fruit on top, less ice cream, stuff like that. I actually make my own ice cream. I'll tell you about it a little later, and we call it nice cream. So good. Yeah, so it could be red or yellow, which we just went through. So what's in the food we eat? When I love talking about this part because for years and years and years, I would look at a nutrition facts label, and even in like my health classes in high school and college, because I had to take nutrition classes for animals when I was doing my zookeeping. And what we focused on was the top part of this, the total fat, the saturated fat, the cholesterol. And I remember we always, and math is not my forte, but I remember we always were asked like, hey, how many servings are this and and figure out how many sugars are in this and all that stuff, right? But we never looked at the ingredients part. And that's shocking to me now, knowing what I know. Like, that's crazy to me. So the ingredients down there at the bottom, that is going to be your main focus. And that's what we're going to go into here, this next little portion. And so really looking at the ingredients, and you're going to decide if it's a red light, green light, yellow light food. And that's really going to help you to have better experiences for yourself when you're doing that. All right, so I'm going to give you some pointers. If you have notes or you want to take notes, this is the time to do it. This is going to be what to look for on your labels. You want to look for a short list of ingredients. Years ago, we used to tell people, and my friend that's a registered dietitian actually learned this in school, it was 5 ingredients or less. But once you start getting in your pantry, which some of you may do after this, like just curiosity, start reading your labels for practice. But now it's getting closer to like 10 or 12 because we are the way we are. So short list of ingredients. You want to look for good words like whole grain, the words that you can pronounce. Like I was recently looking at some of the stuff that I take that's whole foods, and I couldn't pronounce one of the words. It's like this it's like a frugologoside or something. It's a real long word. And so I Googled it, and you guys, Google can be an enemy sometimes too. Let's be real. But I Googled it because I didn't know what that word meant. And I was like, wait, this is supposed to be all natural. I don't understand what this is, and I can't pronounce this word. And you know, I teach.
Oh my God.
I teach. Oh, hold on, somebody unmuted themselves.
Yeah. Ah! I'm trying to.
I don't know who that is, but you unmuted yourself.
I forgot to turn up my volume.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Bear with me, folks.
No, I don't want to turn.
There we go. Okay. So anyways, back to that. So you're going to want to look for words that you can pronounce. And so that long word, you guys, was actually a sweetener. It's a natural sweetener found in the plants. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So sometimes when I say, you know, words that you can pronounce, that can bite me in the butt, right? And bite you in the butt. But that's what I mean by it. It's got, and look for the protein, look for the fiber, look for low sugar, and then low in trans fat. Okay. So here we are with some hazardous things here. These are ingredients that you want to avoid. These are like the top things, non-negotiables. You read that label, you see any of this stuff, you put it down and you run away. You don't walk, you run. You just slam it to the ground now. You just put it back on the shelf and you say, that's not for me. It's high fructose corn syrup. I mean, we say it a lot. It's in a lot of stuff too. Like if you start to read your labels, it's in like ketchup. It's in everything. It's crazy. Hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils. Basically added oils. That's the easiest way to say it. Added oils. See it, just put it down. Trans fat, artificial coloring. So anything with a number, like you've seen it, the reds and the blues and the yellows and all that stuff. Artificial flavoring, if it has a longer list than 10 to 12. And then there are multiple names for sugar. There's sugar, fructose, sucrose, lactose, and then you want to look for anything with MSG. You know, if you can't pronounce it and if it has any of those things, then you don't need it. You don't need it in your body. I don't need it. You don't need it. We don't need it. All right. This is kind of fun. So now we're going to practice what I just taught you. And it's name that food. And so for this activity, I'm going to show you a list of ingredients. And then I want you to try to guess the food. And you can do it, you know, in your brain, or you can type it up there in the little chat thing. But it's kind of fun. And I think you're going to be really good at this. You're going to see some of those things that I said stay away from, and your eye is going to go straight to them because that's just what happens. All right, here we go. And also, I didn't really go over this part, but like when you're looking at this so what do you guys think this is? Like the second ingredient is sugar. And so whatever is in that first line of ingredients is what has the most in it. So this item, sugar is the second most ingredient in this item. Are you ready for it? It's Frosted Flakes, which I grew up on. And I wondered why I was so tired all the time as a kid. All right, this one. See, you can either guess what it is or you can like type in the chat what you see that stands out at you. Like high fructose corn syrup. It's Wonder Bread, y'all. All of that stuff is for bread. Like I do in my talks, sometimes I do this activity and then there's another one where I show people how many tablespoons of fat is in an item. And one of the things that I show is a large French fry from McDonald's, which I love and I still eat to this day. I do. I'm guilty of it. Not as often, but I do. And I used to think that it was potatoes and oil. And you can actually even Google this. Like nowadays, everything is on the internet because that's what we have to do here in America now. And so there are over 20 ingredients for a French fry. The McDonald's French fries. I'm serious. It's crazy. There's like whey and oh my God, it's crazy. Okay, what about this? Corn syrup is the second ingredient. Hydrogenated vegetable oil, the third. High fructose corn syrup. Oh my heavens, I don't even remember what this is. And I'm like, what? Oh yeah, Cool Whip. Oh my gosh, how many of y'all grew up eating Cool Whip? Oh, I totally did. I did. Well, I have to tell you, there's something better out there. It's coconut milk Cool Whip. No artificial flavoring and coloring in it. It does have a little bit of a high sugar in it, but I actually take that and mix some fresh fruit in with it. And I actually puree some fruit, mix it around and add some other stuff, put it back in its container, put it in the freezer. And that's my nice cream. That's what my kids think is ice cream. And it's amazing. All right, what about this? High fructose corn syrup is the second thing there. Good. Oh, well, look at the bottom. Yellow number 5 and yellow number 6. I drank this a lot as a kid. It's Sunny D. Like when we would have soccer practices, there was always like a mom that had to bring like treats at halftime and stuff. And we were all getting Sunny D's. Crazy. It's just so crazy. All right, this one. I'm going to start going a little faster. There's just a lot going on there. And I love how things say on it, artificial flavors. Like when you read, marketing is crazy. When you see the front of a box and it says like organic, natural this, natural that, and then it says no artificial coloring and flavoring, but sometimes if you look on the ingredients, it'll say artificial flavoring down there. And that's because the laws and restrictions that the FDA has. It only has to have so much for it to advertise that. Like something can say natural flavors and 10% of that can actually be natural flavors. And the other 90% can be whatever in the world it wants to be. It could be mud out of your front yard. It's nuts. That's why the ingredients, like get rid of the marketing and look at your ingredients. But that's Easy Mac. Anybody else grow up eating Easy Mac? That was like my college thing, ramen noodles and Easy Mac. Whew. Annie's, y'all. Annie's is a good substitution. Okay, what about this one? I'm going fast. High corn fructose syrup. It's like everywhere. It's like a nightmare. Pop-Tarts. My favorite Pop-Tart right there. Okay, and so this awesome, beautiful slide, I'm just going to take a minute to talk about it because it's impacted me in my life so much. It's recommended that we all of us, you, me, everybody out there eats 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. And if you're an athlete, you should be eating, and I hate saying you should be, I hate shoulding on people, but it's true. I mean, if you're an athlete, you got to be putting in 9 to 17 servings. And so when I tell people that, they're like, oh yeah, servings. Nobody really knows what a serving is, right? So I'm going to have you play along right now. And I can't see you, but other people can see you. And if you don't participate, well, they're going to call you out. So I want you all to take your right hand, put it in a fist, put it in front of you and raise it up. That's 1 serving size. That is 1 serving size. Are you eating 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day that this size. Are you kidding me? No, you're not. No, you're not. And if you are, it's not raw fruits and vegetables. You know, when my friend told me about eating this stuff and all that, I was like, I'm healthy. I was a little stinker, and I was like, I'm so healthy, whatever. But I'm so thankful that I was just like, okay, fine. I'm going to say yes and see what happens, because you all, it's super, super impossible for us all to, one, get that amount every single day. And then two, get the variety that we're getting. Like, look on here, y'all, there's beets. I hate beets. Peaches, they're okay when they're in season. Pineapples, okay when they're in season. I mean, there's so much stuff on here that I would not be getting every day. No way. And if I am, nowadays, our food is so different than what it was years ago. Like, food quality has gone way, way down. And I love sharing this with people. So if my grandma were alive today, you know, when she was younger, she could eat one apple, just one apple, and get so many nutrients from that, right? But in order for me to have the equivalent of those nutrients that she had, are you ready for this? Your mind is going to be blown. We have to eat 50 apples to my grandma's one apple. That just shows you how crazy our nutrition is nowadays and how our food is getting so just processed and the quality is just going down. And so that's why I love this stuff right here. It's whole food concentrates packed into this tiny little chewable or this tiny little capsule, and it helps me bridge the gap every single day. And it helps me stay off of medications. And I'm not making any claims, because literally it is fruits and vegetables in a chewable and fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And then there's an amazing shake with tons of freaking plants in it that I sneak into my kids every day, and they think it's a treat as a smoothie. But I'm passionate about sharing this. Ever since I learned about it 3 years ago, every year, like, I'm getting emotional. Every year it hits me harder, because I know what it's doing for me. I know what it's doing for my kids. I know what it's done for so many people that I know and that I'm getting to know on this journey. And these people, you guys, they have celiac disease, they have IBS, they have cancer. And like I said, I'm not claiming that this is going to heal any of that, but it helps with prevention. Because remember that slide from earlier where I talked about the sticky stuff and putting the proper amount of food and the proper food in our bodies and what that can do. You open up your own pharmacy. And so whoever invited you on this call, or if I did, or whoever, it's really just to share this and to share all nutrition with you. And if you're interested in it, contact them. If you're not interested in it, you know what? I don't care. I just know how I feel about it and how I want to share it with people. And that's it. So we're going to move on. And this, you guys, this is an amazing, amazing, awesome, free website that any of you can access. It's healthylivingrevolution.com. And so this is just a screenshot of what that homepage is. There's a ton of resources on there. There's a free cookbook. There's Healthy Living Revolution Live, where they do live webinars weekly every Sunday, which is pretty awesome. It's just education. There's a fitness series, which when I'm on the road and traveling, I sometimes don't want to think for myself and come up with a fitness routine. And so I use those routines. And then there's this awesome part that they started within the last year called Start Strong. It's about kids and kids challenges. Check it out. Just check it out. They have a YouTube channel. And then what I mentioned earlier, one simple change, adding whole food concentrates, powders, things like that. That's in there. And then the Shred 10. Oh my gosh. A group of us have been doing this thing called the Shred 10. And what you're doing is you're shredding bad habits. That's it, for 10 days every month. We've been doing it since January of 2017. We pick the first Monday of every month, and I have a secret little group on Facebook where we help hold each other accountable, and you can win free stuff for posting. We share our recipes. We feel really good. And then what's cool about it is, because it's all whole foods, you can actually say, man, I want to do it for 20 days. You can do it for 20 days. You can do it for 30 days. You can do it when you're pregnant. You can do it when you're nursing. It's food, people. It's food. It can't hurt you. So that is that. And then I just wanted to say thank you. I want to say thank you for just taking time out of your night tonight to just hear this. I hope that you got some value from it. I am going to stop sharing my screen and stop the recording. And if you're able to stay on, I can answer any questions that you may have, or you can just say hi. That works too. So let's stop it. I'm going to unmute you all. There, you're unmuted. So if you're talking, we can hear you.
Yay!
Thank you, Jenny. This is awesome.
Welcome.
Awesome.
Cool. Does anybody have any questions? Anything? I'm ready. Hi, Jenna.
We had a whole party over here. This is such
I-
good information. I
question.
loved it.
I got a question.
Loved it.
Question.
Oh,
I got a
Hey.
Wait, I had to wait for my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
It's your turn. What's your question?
Like roti and dal are the most healthiest food in the world. You should try it.
I will try it. Are you going to make it for me?
Well, it comes from India. And my cousins live in India.
So you have to make it. You have to bring your cousins, and everybody has to make it. You're eating the
Yeah,
cheese.
it's actually really easy.
Is it? Well, then you should be able to make it.
Yeah.
And eat it every day.
Mhm. Kind of like that.
He just loves to talk.
I love it. Did you take your chewables today, sir?
What?
Did you take your gummies?
Gummies?
Yeah, I take mini cheese balls.
He calls them mini cheese balls.
I love it. I love it.
And I have, what kind of mini cheese balls do I have?
And he has those little capsules, the omegas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he doesn't like them too much, but he has them anyways.
Good. Good. It's good for you. All right. You guys can leave the call if you want. Thank you again.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How come she was